Hello, in this tutorial we're going to be creating our vector ninja. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is create your new document. So let's go to Illustrator, New. And I'm going to create an A4 page here. So I'll go over here to Print, A4. And at the moment, let's just give it a name. We'll call this Vector Ninja. This all looks good. I'm going to make sure though in my advanced options, I'm going to change my color mode to RGB. That means that it can be viewed on the screen and we have more colors available to us. The CMYK option will be for print ink, cyan, magenta, yellow, and K, which is black or key. Let's press create. Okay, so to start off with, we're going to reset our palette here. So let's go and reset the workspace. We'll reset that to essentials. And we'll also click on reset as well. So my screen looks the same as yours. Okay, so we're going to be using the shapes panel over here. So we'll start off with the ellipse tool. So by default, it's probably set to rectangle. So you'll need to click and hold to bring up the secret menu. You've got rectangle, rounded rectangle, ellipse, polygon, star, and flare. So we'll start off with the ellipse tool. We need to hold down Shift on our keyboard to create a perfect circle. So let's hold down Shift. Okay, if I don't hold down Shift, it's going to create an ellipse. Now, one of the great things is that those pink guidelines will let us know that we've got a perfect circle, even if we don't hold down Shift. Okay, let's make the body. So I'm going to go again to the shape tool, click on rectangle, and let's create the body there. That's about right. Now you'll see these aren't in line, so that's okay. We'll use the alignment tool to get those centered together. So I'm going to click here on the selection tool. Okay, that means I can select the different objects without creating new shapes. I can use the pink guidelines where they intersect, or I can bring up a new window and we'll go to align. We'll have a pop-up path here, and here we can use some of the options in here. So I want to leave this open and we can click on this align objects. So both need to be selected, so you can drag a selection across both of them. They don't need to be completely covered. You can see that when I drag a selection, just part of them needs to be covered and it will select the whole shape. And I'll click on this horizontal align. And now they're completely centered together. Okay, let's create some arms and legs for our ninja. So we'll go back to the shapes panel and we'll use the rounded rectangle tool. So let's create some arms and legs. So we just need to drag one shape here and we'll duplicate it across. In the rounded rectangle tool, you've got these little circles here, and they adjust how round your corners are. So I want to make it a little bit rounder, and I might go ahead and scale this down slightly. Okay, and we'll duplicate that 4 times, so we'll have 2 arms and 2 legs. So we'll use the selection tool again. Okay, selection tool's there. We'll put our first leg there. We'll press Command C, Command V to copy and paste. Okay, you'll see the pink guidelines come up again, and then again Command V to paste. Put the arm over here. There we go. And now we want to get the exact same symmetrical arm. So this time I'm going to hold down right click on my mouse, and I'm going to use this tool here. It's the transform tool. And there's a couple of transformations we can do. We can say where we want it to move, our angle of rotation. What we're going to do is what's called a reflection. So we're going to go ahead and use that in a moment. So I'll copy and paste this one. Okay, I'll have those aligned together and we'll use the reflect. So let's go ahead and right click, transform, reflect. And at the moment, I've got preview selected, so that will show you what happens. And at the moment I've got horizontal selected, so you can see that it's flipped over there. So let's click on OK. Great, and I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so our ninja's all ready with the arms and legs. Actually, I might just move this a little bit further this way to give us a bit more of the body. And the next thing we want to do is just change the layer order of things. So I want the head to be on top. So I'll select the circle. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to click on Arrange and Bring to Front. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is group all of these together so we can start coloring them in. So we'll go to Pathfinder. We're going to select all of these items. So I'm going to drag a selection box over everything but the head. You'll see that this blue selection box is around the body. And what we're going to do is use one of these things called a shape mode. So again, it's in that Align window. If you've misplaced it, you can go back to Window, Align. And we will go to the Pathfinder tab. We'll click on this, Unite. This means all of these will be grouped together. There are other shape modes too. There's minus front, intersect, and exclude. We'll be using this one in a moment. So let's just use this one first, Unite. Okay, they've all grouped together now. Now we need to create the face mask for our ninja. That's this part over here. So we're going to be using the minus front section. So I'm going to go ahead, put this over here so I can concentrate on my workspace. So to do this, I'm going to need to use an ellipse tool. I'm going to drag that there to create a circle, and then I'm going to freeform drag an ellipse over the top to create the head. So the stubbier your ellipse is, the nicer edge you're going to have here, and you're going to end up with a nice round edge around the mouth there and the face mask. If you drag it quite far and you've got a squashy ellipse, you're not going to have much of a curve there. So we're going to drag it about there. Okay, we'll grab the selection tool, select those two together, go back to Align, let's center those together. And this is what we have for the face. So I think I want a little bit more of the face showing. So that's about right there. And what we'll do is select both of those, go back to Pathfinder, and we're going to minus front, and look what happens. Excellent. It's deleted that first part because that shape was in front, and we're left with this. Okay, let's go ahead now and bring it all together. So we're going to put our face mask in there. I want it to be maybe slightly larger, so I'm going to hold down Shift and bring up the corner there. Again, I'll just use those pink guidelines to intersect, and let's get coloring it in. Okay, to color it in, it's very easy. We're going to go ahead and select the face and the body, but we're going to leave the mask as it is. And so we're going to color all of this with a dark charcoal grey, a black stroke, and a lighter white stroke on the inside. So let's go ahead and do that. So we do this by using the Appearance menu in Illustrator. So let's go to Window, Appearance, and this gives us all the options for the appearance. Okay, if your options aren't showing here, you can go ahead here and it will show the options. So yours might appear without those. Okay, so we've got here stroke set to 1 point and fill set to white. So let's go ahead and change the fill first. Okay, the fill, we'll go ahead and make that this dark charcoal grey. We'll use the stroke over here. Let's make it a bit thicker. So let's click on the stroke and change the weighting. So let's make that a bit bigger. I'm going to change that to weighting of 5 or 6. And we're also going to change how it appears across the path. So at the moment, the alignment is to the center of the stroke. This one is to the inside, and this one is to the outside. So I'm going to do to the outside. Okay, the stroke is now on the outside of the shape. All right, let's go ahead and add a new stroke. So we want to add a bit of depth to our design. So we're going to put this light grey stroke on the inside of our shape. So in the Appearance menu, we'll go over the top here and we'll go Add New Stroke. Okay, nothing's happened. We need to add and change some of those values around. So let's go ahead here, grab the color swatch, let's make that slightly lighter. And let's change its alignment. So let's click here on stroke and let's go ahead and make that on the inside. Okay, now we've got a nice light grey stroke on the inside. We'll do the same to the face mask too. So we'll add the fill. Let's change the color of the fill. I'm going to change it to this color over here. You can use whatever color you like. And I'm also going to do the same thing with my stroke. come over here. I'm going to change that to 5 and make it on the outside. I'll also go over to here. Again, add a new stroke. And I'll leave that one there. Let's go ahead and change this one. Let's change it to a darker color. There we go. And change the alignment of the stroke. So let's put that on the inside. Last thing we need to do is give our ninja a face. So let's do this by using the ellipse tool. And let's get some little black little dots as eyes. So let's just go ahead and use the circle there. Again, it's changed the appearance over here. It uses the same, it memorizes what you put in there before. So what I'll do is I'll turn off the stroke. And the fill, I'll make that black. Okay, I'll make sure I use my selection tool. Bring that over here. Copy and paste the eye. Bring it over here. I'm using my arrow keys to adjust the placement of it. And there you have your ninja. The last thing that we can do is add a little weapon. So I've got a bow I've made here. I've used that with the rectangular, rounded rectangle tool and just stretched it out with a dark brown stroke and a lighter brown fill. And there's a shuriken here. So let's make the shuriken. That's the fun one. Okay, so let's go and use the shape tool again. I'm going to use star. I'm going to click once on my artboard. It will then bring up this menu here that asks you about the radius and how many points you want. So let's have a 5-point shuriken. Click OK. At the moment, you've got the fill set to the black from the eye. So let's go ahead and make that a nice silver color. And let's give it a stroke as well. Let's give it a black stroke. Oh, make sure you click on the color swatch panel there. Okay, let's make the stroke 5 points. And now we want to create a bit of a curve here. So we'll go ahead and we'll introduce a new tool. We're going to introduce the direct selection tool, which is this arrow here. It's white. With this selection tool, you can adjust some of the values for this star. It's the star shape. You can round the corners off there, just like we did with the rounded rectangle. Or you can select certain anchor points. So at the moment, all the anchor points are selected because they're all dark blue. So I'm going to click outside on the artboard somewhere to deselect all of those. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and select each anchor point in the center. So select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm using Shift to do this. And then I'm going to right click and we're going to go ahead and use that transform menu again. This time we'll use rotate. At the moment it's set to preview and I've rotated it by 20 degrees and that gives us that nice shuriken curve that you've got on there. Okay. Last thing I want to do is put a circle in the middle. So rather than create a new circle, I'm going to go ahead and copy this one here. I'll select the move tool or direct selection tool. Let's copy and paste. Bring that over here. Very nice. Use my keyboard arrows to adjust the placement. Let's grab a stroke and make that a bit bigger around the outside. Adjust the stroke's placement to the outside. And there we have it, our ninja. And if you want to make other ninjas like I have here, you can go ahead and create some more rounded rectangles. And you can drag the hands and the legs around. Okay. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial of creating your vector ninja. Let's zoom out. Have fun creating.